attention, it is what it is. For instance, all the ones that are resting in peace, I miss them. To live in depression, the fuck the business. Now I'm back on my feet, just doing the best that I can to make it. Living my life to the fullest, I'm done with the bullshit. Been there, done that, no more acting a fool. If you see, I'm done with probation. No more court, then run with the ankle bracelet. No more catching the cases, locked up, yeah, they can't get so many places. You live and you learn is all that I'm saying. Tattoo scars and wounds, that's my autobiography. Autobiography, maybe one day y'all be proud of me. I'm just pushing myself to be better and better than ever. Whatever is clever, so many people are after me. Out of the tunnel, out of the struggle, never gonna stop till the casket drops. I'm always busy bouncing around like an astronaut. I can climb me straight to the mountaintop. Don't get it misunderstood, I'm still down for the neighborhood. Talk about pressure, look, man, I wish you would. It's a 50-50 like the hemisphere. I still real like Jason and Freddy, cause the end is near. Hope you're listening to this audio engineer. Shady the ones that's putting it out, disturbing the peace. Knocking our heels, gonna keep the neighbors.
Yeah, this is John from All Points TV, and I have the distinct pleasure of sitting down once again with Hoodu. How you doing, Hoodu?
I'm pretty good.
And if you're anybody who's been around All Points and also formerly Flint Talk Radio, we know we've got a long relationship with this guy here. So, and for the first time, I'm meeting Shady today. How you doing, Shady?
Pretty good, man. Right here.
Yeah, these guys are some of the. I know Hoodu, and I just met you, so I'm assuming you guys. He's not going to hang around somebody who's a slouch for work. You guys got to have a work ethic, and that's like you guys are like. I know Hoodu was like always out there doing something, always pushing for his career and stuff, and I think that's you gotta love that. So anyway, got some exciting stuff going on. You guys are always busy. Hoodu's always posting stuff, and if you haven't been a friend of his on Facebook, find him and like him and follow what he's doing and where he's going to be. So, and also Shady, you also have a web presence too, right?
Yeah, just hanging out with Hoodu right here. Start collaborating on this track. He did the hook and jumped in and did the verses, and that's what we got right now so far.
So anyway, so let's see. You guys are going to be on the road because Hoodu comes from Indiana, so do you, right?
Yeah, same here.
So anyway, so you guys are going to be on the road and doing different places and at different places. So let's go into that. Which one do you want to first cover?
Oh, well, let's see. We got a few things we're working on here and there. A few interviews coming up. We got our own headlining show in Frankfort, Indiana. It's May 25th. great lineup. Project Born's going to come up and help us out, and Ed Money, Milby, Pac and Sly Ross, Rilla. I don't know if you remember Rilla. He's been here a few times with us.
Yeah, I think I do. It's like, you know, the thing is, I mean, I like to say I can recall perfectly but we're kind of hardworking here too, and this is getting close to our 1,000th show here on All Points. So I mean, and we've been interviewing you guys, you rappers, the hip hop people, the other rock and rollers. And if by the way, if you are listening to this and you want to get on here, give us a call. We have that number going up. You can also find us on Facebook too, All Points TV. Find also on YouTube. So I mean, got to give myself a promotion there. So anyway, now you guys are like, I don't know what. Let's start. First time I'm gonna give Shady a little bit of the spotlight right now because it's the first time I've talked to him. And okay, I'd like to say what where you hail from and what got you into this line of work? What got you into the business?
Well, I've been recording as a young kid and just doing recording at home from laptops, and people like my stuff and they want to hear more. Like, hey, jump in the studio and record, and next thing you know, I bumped into Hoodu and start collaborating and start from there and hopefully get an album out soon. Well, that's what we're doing right now.
Now we're going to ask you this because everybody's influenced by stuff. I mean, some inadvertently, sometimes we don't realize who we're being influenced by. But who do you think you're influenced by? Who do you think you like the sound of, or you like something about them? Who do you really you listen to yourself?
I think probably the old school stuff for a lot of people. Tupac, Eazy-E. I bumped into that middle school throughout high school, and as myself, I can kind of relate to some of the stuff. So from there, like, hey, I can do the same thing and jump in the booth and record, and people like it. So I'm gonna keep on doing that and push it out.
Forgot to turn my own mic up. A rookie mistake here. Anyway, Hoodu. I mean, you're influenced by. We're gonna go over that because you never know who's been listening. Going to be listening the first time. Who do you think would you say you're influenced by?
I got such a crazy, vast amount of people I'm influenced by. It's just that's why I like doing different music. I mean, ICP, of course, Psychopathic. I'm into all that. I like like Pac, Eazy, all them too. Nas, DMX, huge fan. And then I listen to I like Johnny Cash. I like everybody. The Beatles. So I mean, I like to mix it up, and you can usually tell by each one of my albums that comes out, it's a little bit different than the last. So I like to switch it up, but.
Yeah, I've seen some artists do that too. Like they're more like the commercially acceptable ones. They seem to be they have a hiatus. They're gone for a while, and then they come back and they produce stuff that's got a different sound to it. And then if you're kind of a cute listener to stuff, you could see where their influence is from.
Right.
And so I mean, I'm the rap world. I'm not that much up on, but I know that of course DMX. I think you said it was. I remember he also branched into music, movies too, didn't he?
Yeah. He's done some good movies, but yeah, it's I like to think that I took a little break and came back. Hopefully, it's to evolve, but hopefully, I said like Eminem's new album, I'm not a huge fan of. It's not his best album. He's got some good stuff, but I'm hoping I'm not like Eminem. People are just like, oh, your music's great, and then we put it out and it sucks. But you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, he had like a long break there for a while. I mean, I had, and like I said, I'm not like I don't go through the publications,
right.
But I hadn't heard anything about him, and all of a sudden he just came out the past month or two with a new one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's got some really good stuff, but then he's got some stuff that it feels like he's trying too hard to like fit into the new age music and stuff. And to me, kind of that's what made him who he was. He stood out instead of trying to blend in.
No, like you were saying, like you travel, you work with a production group that's really active, and you're also part of that too, as well as Shady, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Was it Split Side?
Split Side,
yeah. Split Side, yeah. It's like it's like, oh, I should have prepared for this. So if I got that wrong, I could see you guys will sat there with a frown. So I'm glad I got that one right. But I mean, it's like they're a very hardworking group. I remember one time that production group had bands performing and groups performing in two different cities at the same time on the same week on the same day.
Yeah,
and that was a hell of an achievement, I think.
Yeah, we're still around. I think we might slow down just a little bit, but we're working on picking it back up. But yeah, I mean, I remember. I think we had. I don't even know. It was like within that month there were so many different shows around, and the tour and everything we did. It built up real fast, and yeah, definitely glad to be a part of that.
Now this is going to be. You have been part of a tour yet, Shady? Or?
No, not yet. This is my first time coming up.
Yeah.
Just barely getting collaborate with him, and he's trying to help me out, get a album out. Hopefully that goes through. And right now, just working on doing it on shows and get my name out there. Just starting off fresh, and hopefully it goes well.
Now you performed live before though, different places, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, see, that would be the biggest obstacle right there. I mean, I had friends who could sing, could play guitar,
Yeah.
but they would look like the proverbial deer in the headlights if you put them on stage. And it was unfortunate because they were better than some of the people out there who were making it, but they just even recording, even committing themselves enough to put it down and recording, they were reluctant to do it. And which is, you could have taken as many takes you can until you got it right, and they were still hesitant. So I think it takes balls to do any of that. I mean, you got to be. Let's face it, I'm hiding behind. I'm behind the wall here. Obviously, I have to run the board, so I can't be in there with you guys. But I mean, I kind of enjoy being in this position because they can hear me. But let's face it, people can be vicious. And it's really you got to develop a thin skin, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, did you ever have any incident where people said stuff or did something when you're on stage kind of took you back? Or?
I've had a few drunk people try to get on stage, and a few yelled out some stuff, things like that. But really, man, I'd say about 99% of the people have always at least looked like they've reacted well to when I do shows and stuff, and I've always appreciated what they, I usually get tons of support, and that's the biggest part for me. I like that a lot. So, I mean, it's hard to keep going if you're not getting the support, so.
It's kind of a weird, just think of this, it's kind of a hard position because people who go into the arts, a lot of times are doing it because they have a sense of, there's a sense of something missing in your life. And so there's probably an insecurity attached to it. But now you got to be secure enough in yourself to get out there and put yourself out there. I mean, it's kind of a dilemma. I mean, it's kind of a problem thing, I think.
Yeah, it's, well, I mean, a lot of people's music has the stuff that they don't tell people. It's in their music. I've got stuff all over my music that nobody knows. That, I mean, if you listen close, I'm saying stuff that I don't tell anybody, So I mean, you're kind of putting yourself out there for sure.
It's like the open secret, so to speak.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Because a lot of things are like that. I mean, you have to listen to you got to kind of gauge with people's emotional setting, and you can if you're listening to music. But a lot of times, their own fan base or a lot of their own friends or family members who aren't realizing what's going on with them mentally,
right.
Emotionally. So when you're performing, and I'll ask this to Shady because I've never talked to you, and this is really cool that you come up, and I really, really do welcome it. I also encourage you to come back. I want to track your success here as well. When you first performed, how many years ago was it? You said within a year you've been performing, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, he took me out to Indy. He said, "Hey, there's a show coming up. You up for it?" I'm saying, "Yeah." But we went up there, and I told him, "Hey, I've never done a show." So he put me on the spot. I'm like, "Let's do it," And we went up there. They're like, "Hey, you guys are going up first." Music kicked in, and just, it was natural to me. It just, I rocked it and made it happen. And ever since, I got comfortable with it and started doing more shows with him in different areas, different towns, and people like my stuff. Me and him, Hoodu. He's helping me out, and so he's doing more.
Yeah, he's doing good. Yeah, we've done 2 or 3 shows in the last month or so, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Got a couple more coming up that we can't really announce yet, but we will here soon.
Yeah.
And then the big show, our headlining show, we're doing in my town of Frankfurt, and that's a big thing really because there hasn't really been any major shows there in about 3 years. So we're really pushing it, and like I said, Project Born, our homies, they're coming up to help us out and helping us push it and everything, and everybody else that's on it's going to be a great show. So
now it's what venue, where you guys would perform at? Which venue would this be?
It'd be the Rigmig.
Rigmig Salon. It's in Frankfurt, Indiana.
Okay. And
that's where it's going to be at on 25th of May. And this will be my 4th show with him. Well, he's been doing it longer than I have yet. So, a lot of people are coming out, and that's his hometown. I'm the neighborhood town too. So everyone's close right there, and hopefully get a big crowd and make it happen.
So now I don't know if you know this or not, but Indiana is not there's like one band and 2 other performers out of Indiana that I'm aware of, and this is more into the rock and roll world. I think REO Speedwagon came from someplace of Indiana, as well as John Mellencamp and David Lee Roth. They both of those guys came from the same town. I think it was Seymour, Indiana. Now, how far would Frankfurt be from Seymour?
It's not.
I'm not sure.
Far. I feel like it's. I'm gonna say an hour, but I could be wrong. If anybody knows,
yeah,
set me right.
Not there could be a lot more bands out there, but these are the three that, one band, like I said, and two performers, and David Lee Roth was the front man for David Lee, for Van Halen, and then he did his own, and I seen him on his individual tours, his personal tours, years after, after he split away from Van Halen. It was actually it was a really high energy, one of the best performances I've ever seen. I mean, even it was kind of a guilty, the critics hated his music, but you couldn't fault the man's performance and his showmanship. I mean, he was over the top, and it was a fun show. So that was like in the '80s. So that goes way back. Where you were really young, and you weren't even around probably. So, but no. So I think that's really cool though, because we're talking about. I really think it's kind of weird that just New York or LA is considered like the places for music. Although rap and hip hop actually, they're known. They have different areas of different towns that are actually. Not part of the mainstream music scene typically, that people are coming from who are actually making their way through, making a name for themselves. I don't know. What small towns did you say? Did you know any rappers and stuff that are now considered mainstream, but actually came from a smaller town, or?
Not really. I mean, Kyle Cook from Matchbox 20 came from Frankfurt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he's doing his own stuff now. That's really about it from the area, right? I mean,
so Flint had Grand Funk, and I don't know if you're familiar with their stuff, but they actually sold out Shea Stadium faster than the Beatles did in the '70s.
Really?
Yeah, there was like within 50 minutes announcing or opening up the window to sell tickets. I guess it was out. They sold out. Uh-huh. I forget how many thousands of seats that place held. Wow. But and they had a massive following. Mark Farner was the one associated with being the front man there. So I mean, Flint's got plus. They weren't from here, but the Who was actually considered this was like his ground. This was an area where they had a huge acceptance because of largely to Peter C. Cavanaugh, one of the most probably famous DJs of rock and roll history. Originally, I think from Syracuse, New York. He came to Flint back in the '60s, and see, that's the thing is that the music industry's changed so drastically. Because years ago, you used to have like an apparatus with a recording contract, and you had the recording industry's money and weight behind you, promote you. You guys are actually starting. Almost like it's harder, but it's also more liberating. But there's also some negatives to it too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's well, I mean, an aspect anybody can get the equipment to do their own recording now, so that really cuts that part down, and it floods the market with crappy artists. Like, no.
I see that. I've seen that. Yeah. People said to me, "It's like you got to listen to this," and like, okay, that's really bad. It's badly recorded. Doesn't really have. And you hate to say that. You're crushing people. I hate to say that, but I mean,
not that I'm amazing or nothing, but it's just. But also I've noticed the shows we do around these little areas and stuff. Half the people we meet are better than the people you hear on the radio. So I mean, it's just. I guess getting that right person to hear you to pull you up to that level.
So I'd like to see somebody really make it big, get to be the part of the mainstream for a while, come back and say, guess what, I'm going to use my money for seed money for another like label or like promotional unit or whatever, and put a lot of people into that, because I think, like I said, I've heard of guys perform stuff here in the this with an acoustic set. They're just amazing. And I listen to stuff that's on the mainstream radio, and I went, why can't they be these people? I mean, and it's like you're probably running. It's definitely. It's unfair.
I feel like my dad. I mean, I hate to say that, but like, when I was younger, he'd be like, "Oh, you don't know good music," and back in his day, and that's how I feel right now. It's like, back in the '90s and stuff, that's when the music was the best. And there's a few nowadays that are pretty good, but I just feel like I'm taking my dad's place, because music nowadays is not what it should be. But
no, let's get back to like your traveling and stuff. When you're this is coming up on hopefully we're gonna have summer. I mean, the winter's been really hard to let go on us here. You hope to play some outdoor venues at some point there?
I'd like to. I have a few ideas of places I'd like to set up at least. I've been looking into a couple music festivals. Seen about that, but really we're just kind of getting a few offers here and there and stuff, and just now diving into it. And like I said, I took a big break, and he's just getting into it. So I mean, we're still kind of starting off from the bottom again, more or less. So I mean, it's a little more work, but it's been building up really fast. We've already got tons of people helping us out and supporting and sharing things, and ready to come to the shows. And I think we put the flyer out for our show in May the other day, and it was out for like an hour, and tons of shares and stuff already. People saying they can't wait to come. And
That's the one on May 25th? Or?
yeah,
That's the one in Frankfurt. Everyone's excited about it. Hopefully, get a big crowd going, because that's the hometown, and a lot of people have been liking our stuff, looking us up and everything, and we'll make it happen. We're gonna, put the word out and everything.
Okay, we'll use that as a segue there. Why don't you tell people how to get hold of you through the social media outlets like Twitter, whatever. You first there, Mr. Shady.
Oh, you can find me and him on Facebook. We got our own page, Hoodu and Shady. That's on Facebook.
Okay.
And we'll be posting all the flyers and the events that are coming up, when's our next shows, and when the album's dropping or a new track. So we'll keep them posted on there. So that's on Facebook, Hoodu and Shady. So we'll be right there.
And on that track we performed, like we'll go back again, the track we performed at the beginning of this talk here, you both are on that, and you actually were the first part of it there, weren't you, Hoodu?
I did the hook on it.
Okay.
It's his track off of the album he's working on right now.
Well, when can we maybe expect to see that drop?
I'm thinking probably June.
Okay.
I'm going to push it out to continue. We'll keep you posted, like I said, on that page. If something drops, another track, or we'll keep people be looking out for it. They'll be on there, especially shows. They'll get to listen to some of what's coming out on the album. But hopefully June, get it out by then.
I'm going to throw this in here. I don't know if you've heard this. I just read somewhere that vinyl sales have actually now outpaced a lot of the the downloads. From when they're at the sales unit place. Actually vinyl. So the thing is, problem with vinyl, it's really hard for people who are independent to actually get a place to do the pressing of the vinyl, and so I don't know if any rappers or hip hop artists actually have gone that route, because but if it's doing that, it seems like a resurgence, and I like the vinyl. Do you have any plans to do something like that?
That is actually pretty cool. I know Pollock's done something, because I've got it at the house on vinyl, and I looked into it. Right now it's a little too expensive for. It didn't seem like as many people are wanting it right now.
Yeah,
but. Eventually, I'd love to have an album on vinyl. That'd be great.
Because I just think that's like even though you guys are like younger, when I grew up, when you knew when you arrived, you had your album there, you had your artwork on it, you had the artwork on the cover, and it seems so weird that it seems kind of come full circle on that. Of course the technology's better, the sound's probably gonna be better, but I remember Kyle MacLachlan, the actor, he had like a huge record collection. And this is when CDs were coming out. He was like absolutely refusing to go to CD, and he did make a point that most people didn't know about, that people became more aware of, that the mid-range sounds are better represented in the vinyl than they are on the totally digital way of doing it. Yeah. So I think that's kind of encouraging. And see, it's like, but I just popped in my head is like, I haven't seen too much of the. I wonder how many people, rap and hip hop artists, actually have gone that route. Because again, you have to have a name to justify going that expense of getting the vinyl pressed. Yeah,
it's more or less like a really cool souvenir type thing right now. But yeah, I've got a few records at the house, but I don't have the player anymore. So
I'll tell you what though. There's I was at a bookstore down there about Auburn Hills, and it's 42nd and Charles, I think it's called, the original headquarters. I think that's the name of it. Don't get me wrong. Don't hold it to me if I'm wrong. I was there like twice, and I'm a bookstore person. I would concentrate on the books. The name's secondary. If they got books, if it's somebody's rummage sale, I'm going to go over at the books aisles. But anyway, they sell all kinds of technology, and they were selling massive amounts of turntables. So you might check that out. Also, I think Barnes & Noble, they also actually sell them too in the back area, the Barnes & Noble's stores.
Okay.
So if you have the money and you want to, you want to play those vinyl, man. I like vinyl. It's like they were a pain. You had to worry about them getting dusty or scratched, or the stylus wearing out, or it just sounds, I guess it's maybe pure nostalgia on my behalf, but I really like, but I think other people are now, joining in on that, so it's pretty cool. But no, anyway, you got this date coming up the 25th, and then your hope, as soon as any kind of announcements that are coming out, you will try to pass them on to your fan base, right?
Right. Yeah, we've got there's 2 more at least that we're kind of getting ready to finalize on. I just can't really announce them until they're done, but one I'm really excited about. I even hit him up. I was like, "Hey, we're doing a show." Not asking, we're doing it. so
it wasn't even a question, but
yeah. So as soon as I can announce that, I'll be letting everybody know about that. But.
Well, right now, there's also a show going on today. I can show you the flyer. I can show the flyer of that. I mean, obviously, it's going to be too late for somebody to want to. Well, not too late, but probably unlikely they're going to go down there. Where's this going to be at?
This is Project Born's performing in Warren tonight. That's where we'll be. We're just going to go have a good time and see what happens. But we're going to be there, and then I know Smokehouse Junkies and some other people have one in Lansing tonight.
Where's that at? Lansing?
Lansing, I believe is where it is.
Okay. And I showed you the flyers they had. Is that?
Yeah. That's the one with the roach thing on the thing.
Okay. Whoops. So here, hold on, y'all. I got it here. Hold on here.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on today. It's 420. I know in Indiana, I think Bakelo, he's from up here in Michigan.
Yeah.
I think he's in performing with Twisted or something like that in Indianapolis or something.
Yeah, I got the one that Knowledge is Power. Yeah, I got that one up right now. It's like I accidentally put it over your face because I'm really got a crude form of it, so I had to move it over.
Cool.
So I apologize for that. I didn't try to black you out. But anyway, so yeah, the 420. I also know that the Genesee County Compassion Club, and because they do a regular show here, and they're doing their big celebration over at the clubhouse on Genesee Road. Now it's kind of interesting too. I mean, there's kind of like we go into that a little bit if you want. I mean, it seems like there'd be a connection between rap and marijuana. And I mean, that's probably some obvious to people, and I guess because you got people like Snoop Dogg that a lot of his songs are talking about smoking marijuana. But do you think that's necessarily the case that all rappers do smoke marijuana, or what?
I don't think so. I mean,
which is I've gotten to the point. I used to be really prohibitive against that. I didn't like it, but as I looked at I've seen the people, my friends who actually did alcohol and died or got screwed up real bad health-wise with doing that, and looked at marijuana. The guys who smoked a lot of weed, they look pretty damn good at the same age we're at, So, they're not, they're not getting good. They're not like, they're not on dialysis, and they're not, and their liver's functioning perfectly, Well,
I mean, you see all the medical stuff right now coming up, where the cannabis and the oils and all that stuff like helps all these diseases and stuff. I mean, it's going legal pretty much everywhere, right? I mean,
I think it should be. I think it's got to be done, and I think there's like the laws are draconian, just bizarre. Right. I mean, a person could serve more time in some states for having marijuana than to almost trying to kill somebody. Mm-hmm. I think that's just bizarre, and it doesn't work. I mean, America's supposed to be based on freedom, which is diminishing all the time. I'm a libertarian, so a lot of people are going to take issue with that. I don't see the need for passing laws all the time, and I think some people just got to make their own choices, and they're going to screw their lives up. But I think that's unavoidable if you're going to have a free country. You can't have freedom and ultimate control and then say you still got a free country. It's incompatible for me.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got that show on the 25th, and like I said, anything that's coming up, please, contact us if you can get up here, or we can do a call-in show, and we could encourage people to come out. We can give the location and the information out there, and because you guys are like, I really respect the fact that you're plugging away. I mean, constantly. I mean, how many days a week do you think you guys work on your career here?
Oh man, let's see. Daily, I'm on Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff, trying to get stuff, get the word out. Always looking into shows and stuff. So he's working on his album now. I got an album coming out June 15th, so I'm tweaking that one now. So I mean, we're in the studio nonstop. So between the music and family and work and stuff, I mean, we stay pretty busy.
So the one's coming out the 15th, and we have the flyer up there on the wall there for us for the viewers. How many tracks are on that?
12, like that.
That's about the average, 12, 14, isn't it? Yeah. And how many are you aiming for on your upcoming one there, Shady? How many do you want to put up on there?
I mean, right now, like he was telling me, like I'm starting out fresh, and he's like, kind of start off with a few tracks, start maybe 6 to 8, just something for the viewers, the one that the fans are liking my stuff, just something to push out, and if they like it, then I'll push myself to put more tracks on an album. But right now I'm just starting out fresh, and mostly shows is what we've been doing, and I'll get my name out there and be known, recognized. So that's what we're doing right now, just shows.
Yeah, no, I just think that no, I think it's a great thing. Then you, Bill, both of you have your own daily concerns. You got your own family affairs, you got your own family worries, and you still concentrate enough on this to keep yourself out there. I mean, that's impressive. You know, it really is. So, do you got anything else you want to say before we wrap this up, or?
Just shout out to 423 Music Group, Split Side.
Yeah.
Everybody supported, listened.
Yeah,
Yep.
especially the hometowns from where we're at, Lafayette, Frankfurt, Delphi, Logansport. Shout out to my two brothers. They're always right there with me. Hoodu too. You know, helping them out, doing shows. And the main thing is come out May 25th in Frankfurt. That's going to be a good one right there. Big names, big artists coming out. You know, we'll make it happen. Hopefully everyone shows up and have a good time and bump to our music right there.
So, there's another track we want to play on the way out as we're heading out and wrapping this up, or?
Yeah, it's called Bruised and Beat. It's off my upcoming album.
Okay, no, that's a give it a listen to. And guys, I really, really welcome here. And you guys, again, these guys came all the way from Indiana. So we're in Flint, Michigan. That's quite 3-hour drive.
About
It's a 4.5
hour and a half. So okay, you feel worse. Wish I had money to give you money to go get a restaurant, but
so this is a tradition now. I mean,
Yeah.
we always have to stop here when we come in.
no, I really appreciate it because you guys are like you're very very good guys, man. I mean, well, I know Hoodu is, and I'm sure you wouldn't hang around a bad guy there. And Shady seems really cool. So anyway, you guys take it easy, and I'm definitely gonna hope for the best for you guys, and hope that you get more dates. And hey, you got contact information. Who do you they go directly to you if they want you to come out to play or what?
Yeah, most of the time. I mean, you can hit us up on Facebook or Twitter. We got an email and
No management group or anything.
Not really. I kind of Split Side.
Okay, Split Side. All right, and you can like them on Facebook as well, right?
Right.
All right. Well, I have to scroll and draw and find where I put that that track. But anyway, thanks again, guys, and I encourage you guys to come back again and again. All right.
All right, thanks for having us.
All right.
know that I am this. Let's ride, rise, and watch that soul. Let the ink bleed.